have a sign-in sheet going around?
Yes.
Okay.
We do.
I shouldn't, I didn't even need to ask.
You wanna
No,
sign in?
it's good.
You wanna sign in?
No, you
No,
don't
thanks.
have to. But if you wanna, just leave
I've already
it,
done
Oh,
it.
you did?
like maybe by Lori. Yeah, we'll put it here. And she'll nab people.
Okay, so in lieu of last meeting's pain that you guys endured with me, trying to sort through the minutes of our long meeting, we read the minutes in advance this time, and we're just going to vote to approve them as read, and a copy will be in the office if anyone wants to take a look. And if you happen to see something that needs amending, next meeting we'll make sure and amend them to reflect the correct information.
Will it be on the website as well?
Yes.
Not, yes, when we approve. Sorry,
Second to approve.
I got out of alignment there.
So I would make a motion to accept these minutes as written for March 24th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. March 26th minutes approved. Okay. We had warrant number 22 this week. Expenses totaling $138,508. Receipts of $23,196. Now for real estate taxes collected for 2023, we're at a total of 87%. Okay, let's start open session. Any questions, comments, concerns from the citizens of our wonderful town this evening? Okay.
Richard,
Moving on, I have some items to throw out there, but I will kind of save it for the categories in different sections of the meeting. Okay, RSU 10 report. Kristen has been going to a lot of meetings the last couple of weeks. She was feeling pretty tired today, so I'm gonna attempt to take her place. Hopefully I can get through this without getting into too much trouble. So, the board got together. They've been having a lot of meetings trying to cut the budget down, and they finally made it below their 8% goal. It was up nearly 18% increase when they first started out, and with each passing week they've managed to shave it down. Now, the way that breaks down to the different towns, Sumner is at a 9.109% increase over last year, with the overall district budget coming in at 7.65%. So it's a lot of money. Sumner will have $972,000. Roughly rounded off to the nearest thousand. $972,000 to be raised for the 24-25 school year. Budget sheet is attached, and she said she gave that to you guys too, if anyone wants to request it. On April 29th at 6:30 p.m. at the Buckfield Junior Senior High School, the board will vote on the budget. Budget presentation will be on May 20th at the Buckfield Junior Senior High School at 6:30, followed by the annual budget meeting, May 29th at 6:30 at Mountain Valley High School Auditorium. Budget info should be posted soon on the RSU website, if not already. May 6th is the next meeting for the I think NV stands for Nazinsket Valley Building Committee. That's at the Buckfield Junior Senior High School at 6:30. Last Wednesday, I went with Kristen and we met for our first meeting with a engineering firm and some members of the school board and the superintendent, and discussed what's basically the beginnings of a feasibility study to discuss the pros and cons of the sixth graders remaining at HSES or moving them up to the high school. And with that, potentially putting in for a grant to add on to one of those two buildings to house them, because as of right now, all the sixth graders have been housed in the portables. There's been hasn't been very convenient for them, and they've kind of been getting the raw end of the deal when it comes to being able to have lunch on time, because they essentially cycle all the other grades through and then they get to go to the cafeteria and eat. So there's really about an hour of time left for them after lunch, before school lets out. So that was one of the cons discussed of the current setup, and general feelings of disconnectedness from the rest of the school. A pro of moving them to the Buckfield Junior Senior High School is a more structured introduction to middle school sports. Currently, there's minimal structure and oversight of those kids around the middle school kids. They're thinking that if the sixth graders ended up in the building at Buckfield Junior Senior High School, because they would be around that area all the time and meeting some of those students, they'd be more likely to sign up for and participate in sports, because it wouldn't be a kind of an unknown place they had to be bused to. Currently, there is minimal structure and oversight of those kids around middle school kids. Also, all academics would be together, and the pros of that would be that the sixth graders who are really excelling in certain subjects could essentially take some of the classes that they have seventh graders on. Okay, that's all I have for
Can I
Kristen's
just point
portion.
out
Yes.
that $972,000 number does not include what we pay for adult education, so the line on the budget is not gonna have that number on it.
Gotcha,
It will have a higher number on it.
gotcha. Do you think that was heard by the camera? Cause I'm sure someone can have those questions.
Say it again. budget number is not going to match the number that the school just gave us because that does not include adult education. So our budget number for RSU 10 will be higher than that $972,000.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to code enforcement, plumbing inspector items. While we're on this subject, Fred Collins he's back in action, and he was at the planning board meeting last week. One of the things that I wanted to ask of the planning board is that I think each of the departments and committees should review their bylaws and make recommendations for potential changes or updates. And one of the things that I would like for the planning board to look at is there's been some discussion of whether or not it's for the select board or the planning board or potentially a ordinance committee to basically look at what we currently have for ordinances and what we really might need to get updated. And my observation is that we're a very small town. We don't have a ton of volunteers. There's other committees that need to be formed, so it's my personal opinion that forming an ordinance committee might be a little bit too much. So what I would like to see, and just so you can please give your opinion afterwards, but I would like to see the planning board come up with the ideas of what may need to be put into ordinance and make a recommendation to the select board, and then we can present that to the town and come to a consensus and vote on it. We have a member of the planning board here tonight. Jeff, would you like to speak to that, or any ideas that you may have, or whether or not would be feasible?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely feasible. We'll get together and come up with things to present the town that are worthwhile and that can get voted on.
Cool. Fred said that he had made some suggestions, so Don, if you watch this, I'll probably request that you're here for the next meeting, and maybe we can further discuss some of that. When, do you know when the next meeting's
Next week.
scheduled?
Next
Okay.
Tuesday, 6.
Awesome. I may see if I can come to that. I haven't been to one, so I'd like to see how that goes. Okay, opinions? What's your thoughts?
I think it's a good idea. We worked with Fred for the solar ordinance, so I don't know historically how the planning board, how ordinance came to be in this town as far as the ones that we have, other than obviously people voted them into ordinances, but I don't know if the planning board worked on them or a committee worked on them or not. I just know that the solar ordinance, myself and several others, Eric Austin and Fred, all worked on that, which was pretty easy because Fred had just been through it with Otis Field, so they have a pretty comprehensive one, so it's for all intents and purposes it's Otis Field's solar ordinance that we made some adjustments to. So that one was pretty easy.
So since we're on that, why don't we keep going down that road?
Yeah, so that one's still pending, and we need to get that voted in, so we're gonna do, it's been on the website, so people should be pretty well aware of it and what it means and what it's for. You can come get a hard copy here at the town office. It's like 70 pages, so it's, it's pretty elaborate. It's basically just allowing people, residents, to do whatever they wanna do on a residential scale for their homes, what have you, but
Yeah.
if a commercial company wanted to come in here and clear 1,000 acres, well, if the ordinance was in place, they couldn't. Right now, if there wasn't a moratorium in place, they could've, so, but if somebody wants to come in at some point, currently the ordinance is written for 100 acres town-wide. That would be broken up into 20, no larger than 20 acre parcels, but that's gonna come with a pretty hefty, paycheck to the town to be able to do that. There's decommission, there's all kinds of stuff written in the ordinances, so they don't, they just can't walk away after 20 years, and leave it there for somebody else to clean up. There's a lot of stuff that, and even after after the ordinance is passed, even if a company does come in and say they wanna put one in, that still has to go to town vote. So it's really to just protect the town, cause we're not protected, so that's the hope, that we can get that passed. It'll be on the warrant and the agenda for the June 22nd meeting.
So, as I understand it, the temporary.
Yeah, we gotta look into it, or we can make a motion just to extend the moratorium, I guess. It either runs out at the end of this month, or it's at some point this month or the first of next month that the moratorium runs out. Cause we extended it in October, 1st of November, last fall.
So that's only 100 acres in the whole town you can do?
Yeah, it's,
So if I wanted to do 20 acres at my house, somebody else would gonna only could do the rest of it?
Yeah, correct.
If yours is a commercial endeavor, it has to be a commercial.
Has to be a commercial, not private.
Yeah, I mean, private stuff just to run your own home, whether it be a standalone system or on your roof, that's all covered to protect residents, but,
So could a resident do a 20-acre array? Or, I guess the distinction of what
Commercial
fits.
and private,
Commercial and private,
Yeah.
presume is in that.
yeah, I would assume if you're putting in 20 acres, it's more than your usage, so you would be kind of
Feeding them.
you'd be feeding the grid, so it would be commercial at that point.
So the other thing is that ordinance needs to go through a public hearing before it gets voted to the town meeting.
Yep.
And normally it always happens at the regular select board meeting, like a special town, special event related to that.
So we should schedule
And it has to be, there's
hearing.
language in terms of when it has to happen, within, or no later than some days before or after, whenever it's gonna get voted on.
Yep.
So just,
I'm sorry, Mary Ann, did you say it's typically at a select board meeting?
we just do it, piggyback it before or after.
Before, I
Yeah,
thought
that's what we did.
you'd mentioned that before,
Yep.
So, let's look into that, and
I don't know if it has to be so many days before the actual vote on it. I haven't looked at it.
We got enough time.
Yeah.
It's not months.
No, it's 45 days or something that.
so let's look into, doing a hearing at one of the meetings in May, first.
Unless it has to be 45 days before the vote on June 22nd.
We'll shoot for the first of May.
You can always bring it up at town meeting, can't you?
That's when we're hoping to vote on it.
But you have to vote, you have to have a public hearing regarding a new ordinance prior to your vote at town meeting. So, so it gets, that's the way it's. And at that public hearing, people can offer changes.
Yeah.
Out to the ordinance. But anytime, by the time it gets to town meeting, that's not an option.
It is how it's written,
Yeah. I was wondering if they'd wanna put some variance in on it so the town could make money off them, type of deal, if we could everybody kind of look the job over and see if it's kind of private and out of the way, so nobody has to look at it, and the town can make some money off it or somehow, have some more tax revenue or something.
If a company does come in,
Yeah.
yeah, it's written in there, the town can basically, they'll get paid well, yeah.
And have a site group to go out and look things over.
Yep, that's all
Yeah,
that's
okay.
in there,
Good,
yep,
good.
yep.
Sounds good.
All has to be
If you have
fenced.
time before the road postings come down and you get too busy, maybe you could take a peek at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think poster's gonna come down early.
I hope so.
Yeah. We don't get much rain next week, I think brother talked about pulling off. It's a good week after this comes.
Yeah, I'm open Monday.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
open the
I think
end
the
of next
frost is
week.
out,
Oh, yeah, it is up my driveway.
now it's just gonna dry out.
Okay. Moving on to the fire department. Doug.
We're starting to schedule some dates for required annual testing, like hose testing and pump testing. We're looking into doing the in-house firefighter 1 and firefighter 2 for some of the new guys. OSHA is trying to come up with some new regulations, and some of them could put us in a real bad spot if they do. So hopefully, they do not. Other than that, everything's doing good.
So we've, tried to, solicit a few different places for, potentially doing those grates. And, the only place that came back saying that they could essentially do it and within a reasonable time for a reasonable price was, Western Maine Steel up the road, but I thought that their labor costs and their, cost for, powder coating the grates was high.
That's the one you said was like 3,000?
Yeah, $3,800 for those half-inch steel grates cut out and with the spacers put on the bottom. So my idea to run by the board is if we just bought the materials, I could supervise my son to donate his time and do a little learning to weld the flat bar on the bottom and paint them, and he could help me install them, and then that way none of that would cost the town anything, and we just simply be paying for materials, and we can move forward and get in the fire department there. Great.
If you guys need a hand, we can get a couple guys together too.
Cool. So, if you're good with that, I would make a motion that we accept the bid for these materials. Costs, yeah, a little over $1,000. And, then we'll put it together and get some volunteers and do the rest, so.
You said you wanted the old ones, just,
I'll get rid of them, yeah.
Okay, well, so I have a second?
Yep, sorry, seconded.
Alright, cool, alright, all in favor? Okay, we'll let, Western Maine Steel, order that half-inch, plate. Okay. Alright, roads report.
Ain't much to say, they're just bad. Yeah, I plan on, taking posters down Monday, we'll see how much rain we get, but I believe the roads are getting there, the ditches may be still a little soft to be grading a lot, but I would like to get the grader out next week, and at least go right up the middle of the road and try to get some of them out. I feel real bad for the school buses right now. They are bouncing everywhere. But we're gonna do what we can to them, and, hopefully I have my, patching wagon next week, so we can start in patching too. We got some real bad holes, we got to get to them. So hopefully the weather stays good, and we're ready to start working on them.
Yeah, it'd be wonderful.
That's about it on the roads.
April 30th work for first roads committee meeting.
Works for me.
It's our off week for select board meetings. So.
Good. Yeah, sooner we can do that, the better, so we can shift that into the, our planning with the budget committee.
Yeah.
Good. All right, animal control.
Animal control. I, last Monday, had the animal, welfare guy from the state came, and we tried to, go down and give Jonathan Levitt a fine. He wasn't around. So I ended up going down today by myself, and I caught him on the road with his dog on a leash. But we actually had one of the best talks I've had with him in a long time. But I did issue him the fine, he signed it, and I think he's gonna be all right with it. And he's gonna do better, I hope.
On that note, I have in front of me a section of our, dog ordinance, and, Mary Ann, before I make suggestions for amendments to this, do I need to have a hearing on amending
I
our,
believe, yes, I believe that's right. Maybe, correct me, Susan.
Okay.
I think every change to it requires a public hearing.
okay, so maybe we can do that at the same time as the solar ordinance. Essentially, looking at the ordinance, I'd like to strike one of the sentences from the section 3 of running at large. So the way it reads currently is, nothing in this ordinance shall be held to require the leashing of any dog while on the owner's premises, or while the dog is under the voice command of the owner or keeper. So I guess that is a bit of a loophole for when dogs are running around on other people's property. The other part is in section 12, and currently the first part of section 12 reads, every person convicted of a violation of any provision of this ordinance shall be punishable by a fine of not less than $50 nor more than $500 per incident, plus all court costs borne by the municipality to be recovered by a complaint before the district court, subject, however, to the rights of exemption and appeal as are provided by law. What we would like to consider adding, so this is fair and people don't feel like they're getting picked on, we would add this. At the discretion of the animal control officer, the fine schedule will be as follows. First offense, $100, second offense, $250, third offense, $500. Versus not knowing whether you're gonna get a $50 fine or a,
Leaving it open.
or 500. Yeah.
I think you ought to make it higher, then they get the message after the first time.
It won't happen again.
Yeah. Well, at the public hearing, You can make that recommendation.
I can, Joel.
Yes, sir.
Bless you.
Okay,
Only other thing I did say is, it says in the paperwork, I'm supposed to have an official badge.
We gonna get you a badge?
It says in here. Where is it?
I'll figure that out this
I
week.
think people would take attention if I had a badge.
It's in the office.
Really?
Yeah, we do have one.
Oh, that's funny.
It's in the office.
Oh, no kidding, we'll
Really?
get you that.
Okay. Big stars and everything on it?
One Paul Kirshner had.
Yeah. And I'll get a nice water gun on my side.
all right, forms, reports, correspondence. Okay, bids for the winter sand supply.
That's the invitation.
Okay. All right, so we got two bids. One from Lucas Enterprises and one from Cross Excavation. WA Lucas Enterprises LLC bids the following to supply the town of Sumner up to 5,000 cubic yards of winter sand for 24-25, 25-26, and 2026-2027. Price per yard, $10 per yard delivery, $8. Stockpiling per yard, $1.50, totaling $19.50 for winter sand delivered and stockpiling. If additional sand is required over the winter, there is a 500-yard minimum to open the pit, to be paid upon completion. Contacts Alfred Lucas and Julie Bergeron. Okay, Douglas Jones of Cross Excavation. Supply winter sand delivered to the town sand shed on Route 219 in Sumner. Year 1, $19.50 per yard. Year 2, $20 per yard. Year 3, $20.50 per yard. Terms and conditions: payment due upon completion, all bills due upon receipt, 2% interest charge per month for accounts over 30 days. This proposal is good for 30 days. Cost of collection, including attorney's fee, will be paid by you on accounts over 30 days. Okay. So, my vote would be that we go with Alfred Lucas. He's a known entity. He's been providing good quality sand for us, and he is the cheaper of the two, at least for year 2 and 3. What's your feelings?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So, does that have a motion?
I haven't made a motion yet.
Okay.
Would you like to make the motion and I'll second it?
I make a motion that we accept WA Lucas Enterprises for the winter sand bid for 23, well, what are we, 24, 25, and 26, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
2 years.
For $19.50 a yard.
Okay, I second the motion. All in favor? Okay. You know, the other thing is Cross didn't specify whether they would pile it up or not. This is just delivery, so it could be even.
$1.50 more or so.
Okay, well, that's what we got, so. there we are. Congratulations, Lucas Enterprises, thank you. Okay, new business, as you guys heard last meeting, Norma Dulac is going to be our new deputy town clerk, and she will be having her first day in the office on April 12th. Another note, town office is now open on Saturdays from 9 to 12. We already talked about the solar ordinance, so that's it for new business. As far as old business goes, the 2022 audit they're gonna begin working on that on 23rd of this month. And we didn't have you here last meeting, Mary Ann, so look forward to getting an update on the lights.
I had a conversation with Don, and he said there were, he was gonna do some outside work, and he had hoped to have it done this month. I don't know if he's been into the town office at all to schedule or actually do the work, but.
He did inside work this last weekend.
And, this month we'll do a quarterly report for what's been accomplished, and I've got the invoice for I don't think I have Don's bill yet for what he, materials for his thing. We'll submit a report, and then that concludes our 4 tasks, and then there'll be a final report in October.
Okay.
Submit. I presume everything's working according to, there haven't been any snafus or challenges around any of the lighting or the heat pumps other than the.
We weren't here when he was installing, so I guess we don't really know. The lights work, that's what we're asking.
Slightly differently than they did before. They work
Slightly what?
differently. Maybe somebody knows about electricity, but we had 4 lights in the office, and it was that one switch turned on 2 and one switch turned on the other 2. So we
Now that's
don't
not the same.
always use all the lights at the same time. And now it's 3 on one switch and a different 3 on the other switch. But Don came and looked at it today and said he didn't mess with the switches at all. So,
Okay.
gremlins.
Yeah. They've been working. Okay. So the only other thing is that this is all part of the resilience, and I would again put on request that at some point when we're ready to reconstitute a committee so that we can begin to work on what would then be December grant requests for the next round. We have people who are part of the process before who wanna be involved again, they won't have to go through everything about it, but anybody who comes in new will probably go through the process in somewhat the same manner in terms of looking at what options are and what we as a town would choose and trying to get input. And then make a decision come before fall about writing up the grant. And we still have, my understanding is that we still would have technical support from CB for that process.
Thank you, Mary Ann. As far as upcoming events, remind you who might not have heard the last couple meetings that the Ladies Auxiliary for the fire department is receiving donations in memory of Betty Walder, and the auxiliary is selling raffle tickets for that beautiful handmade quilt in the office made by Nancy Newton. Tickets are $1 each or $5 for 6 of them. The drawing is going to be held on June 1st. Nomination papers for Select board member and road commissioner, both 3-year terms, need to be returned by April 23rd of this month. Scholarship applications are due April 30th. And town meeting still scheduled for Saturday, June 22nd at 9 AM at the Hartford Sumner Elementary School.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do I remember correctly that Kristen had said she would serve as the interim school board until the town meeting? So that is also a nomination paper, isn't it?
I thought she was serving until the end of the term.
Well,
Right, I think the end of the term is, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
This
2-year
year's.
term.
yeah,
2 years
it's
left.
coming up.
So there's still 2 more years on.
No,
This
no.
one plus one. There's a year left.
Okay.
Okay.
She may not.
No.
She aware of that?
Yeah.
She is because she came and was like, oh.
So you might not wanna say that when you get home.
Right.
Watch the minutes tomorrow.
Okay.
And what about ACO is gonna be coming up too?
True.
We got you a badge.
I'm done.
Badge or no badge?
I cannot do it no more.
That's not a nomination, that's a hire. I understand, Fred, but
It's a 7-day-a-week job.
All hours of the night. Even.
All out of the night, weekends.
We got a phone call at 10 o'clock because there was a dog running on Greenwood Road. Sean's like, yeah, I'll check it out. And he hung up the phone. He never will tell me.
Just like fireman, Sean.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, just like that.
But I don't wanna be a farmer either.
I don't know what it was.
You've gone home like 12 times.
Yeah, probably.
On the ballots, are you still gonna have write-ins?
Yes.
Okay.
I hope you're thinking about,
I'm not-
putting in.
No. No. No.
Okay, well, if there's no further business, I would entertain a motion for us to adjourn.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
I second that motion. All in favor? Meeting adjourned at 6:44 PM.
I feel like that's a record.
Scott?